What is YAML? Well, YAML is a markup language that uses an indent-based syntax. Notice I have quotations around markup language as it can provide a lot more flexibility than just being a markup language. So here's an example of YAML, but the interesting thing is that YAML easily turns into JSON. So if you're looking at the same equivalent, this is what it is. And if you're noticing that the YAML one looks a lot more readable, that's intentional. YAML actually is a superset of JSON, so JSON is considered valid in a YAML file. You could take JSON and literally put it in there and it will work. YAML rhymes with camel. That's the way you pronounce it. And YAML is very useful as a semi-structured data document, just as JSON is a semi-structured data document. If you don't know what semi-structured means, it is data that contains fields. The fields don't have to be the same in every identity, and you only define the fields when on a need-be basis. YAML files can be either written with a .yaml extension or a .yml extension. Some programs enforce .yaml as a convention. That's what I try to do the best I can. When we're working with cloud services, some of them will want one or the other, so you're just going to have to work with that. I think the creator also said that they wish that they had said that it was in .yaml, so there was never that confusion. So hopefully that makes sense. So why is it called YAML? Well, it actually stands for yet another markup language. And the naming is a joke because so many other markup languages exist, and it was intended to replace existing markup languages like HTML, XML, SGML. So YAML is seen by many as a better alternative to JSON when required to manually write out information, whereas JSON is really great when you are generating out code programmatically from a program, that data set. YAML was again renamed to YAML ain't a markup language because they're trying to make an emphasis that it's not a markup language. So YAML is using the YAML in the name, and this again is another kind of joke that programmers or program language creators like to make. This is what we would call meta, as it is something that is self-referencing or self-aware. And the reason why they made this change is they wanted to distinguish it as no longer being a markup document, but being more of a data document. And that's why we said earlier in quotations why it was called a markup language, okay?